Hello, everyone. I'm Catwoman,
And I'm Gigi, the Gadget Goddess, and we are
your home girls of tech.
here on the Gadget Chats podcast. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday, everyone.
We have a guest tonight. I'm going to greet y'all first, though, because
Mm-hmm.
y'all are our guests every week. You just
Yes.
don't know. And y'all been talking. So I'm going way back up to 42 minutes ago when Tech King Mike was the first person. Well, Michael, don't get mad. The first person that shows up in our chat is Tech King Mike. Welcome, Tech King Mike. Barry was after him. Shay says, "What's up? Hey, ladies." Rachel with her beautiful cat. Michael, he was like, Gigi, tell him I was here first.
I did see him first but StreamYard it doesn't pull him up first.
Right. Jake's Baby Cakes. Welcome. That's like my favorite username, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm slightly biased. Then I have to jump all the way down. I'm gonna get lost at some point. Y'all are talking.
We love
that. I love y'all to, kind of meet up with each other.
And familiar faces.
Oh gosh. Scales and more. What's up? I always ask him about his snake, but he never tells me because I had a ball python and it looks like the ball python I used to have named CJ. What kind of snake is that, Scales and more? Okay.
Tell us.
What's up, Jamal? Hi,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Let's see. Gosh, it jumped. I knew it was coming.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'm going back up. So, Jamal. Emma, happy Thursday. I always feel like, I'm sitting back kicking it, having a drink with Emma. She got a cup in her hand. I'm having wine tonight, y'all. I'll be a little looser than usual, but I still won't curse. Cousin Ray is in the building. Hey, Ray. How you doing? Barney Scoop is in the building. Hey. Jake's Baby Cakes. My husband loves my username. I'm sorry, I had to slide it in. What's up, Joan?
Hey,
Joan. Our audio file of the evening is here.
Yeah.
Let's see. And Tech for your needs. It's snowing. The first real snow of the year. Congrats to y'all. We never get snow in the South. Well, we rarely get it.
I don't want any snow. I'm in Florida.
I don't like this cold, though. They can have it all back. I'm not enjoying that at all.
Yes.
Is there anything? Well, I'm going to hand it over to you for a second because I've been talking for a while.
Yes. So let's introduce our guest. Some fun facts about our guest. Our guest today has a degree in religious studies and loves to talk politics and religion. She is obsessed with her kid and is a number 8 type personality, Enneagram. She's a Renaissance woman who used to sing opera. She does needle art and custom embroideries. So reach out to her on Instagram to get some service from her. Introducing Emily Wilson. Yay!
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome back. All right. So, where do we start? Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody probably doesn't know. How do you and Emily know one another?
We are coworkers. So we've known each other for 3 years, right?
That was going to be my next question. How long?
2 years. Only 2 years. It feels like longer than that.
Right? Yeah. So we share day jobs together, even though it's remote. We're in different states.
I was gonna say, now did y'all work together, or y'all just
no? So we've never actually met. I've met her sister, and she's met mine.
Yeah,
but we haven't actually met each other.
So your sister works for the company too?
Yeah,
that's crazy,
right?
It's just a family affair.
Oh, look at everybody so welcoming. Hi,
yes.
Look at here. This is all the love.
So in case nobody is aware, the reason why Emily is on here as our special guest is because she was having wonderful dialogue with us on Facebook, while everybody's usually chatting on YouTube. And she was bringing up a lot of good points. So people are like, you need to have her on. She seems to have a lot of good points. So here you are. We're so happy that you decided to come on.
Yay. I'm just a loud person and I love my opinions. So I'm glad that you liked them so far and my fun facts.
Yes. Yes. Scoop helped us test out to see how it was going to be like today. Thank you so much for helping us test. So it was Scoop, Mike, and Trenton Marshall. Appreciate you guys.
I'm sorry. I'm such a football snob that it was. She's like, hey, you busy today? I was like, football's on.
I'm like, it's okay. I got this. So are you a techie?
Ish.
All right.
Ish.
Yes. Tell us the ish part.
So I used to do a lot of graphic design. That was my major before I switched and did biblical studies. So I'm like really well versed in the Adobe products. I briefly worked in IT in college. Note it briefly. That was an experience. Yeah. And like growing up in church, I did a lot of the tech ministry stuff. So I would do like lighting engineering stuff, videography stuff. But I haven't really, since graduating college and then going into the real world, having my daughter, is just, we're now into survival mode more than those hobbies. So it's like I have a little bit of foundation, but I'm not actively in the scene. Nowhere near where you guys are, so it's fun to jump into the podcast and watch because I learn so much every time.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, believe me, we came in as total noobs. The first season, I will say, Tech Valor ran it because I wasn't doing YouTube then. I didn't know how to do any of this crap. So she basically, I came on, I just showed up. I was just here. So she did it.
That's what I do at work. That's what I do at work, and she just makes it happen.
Oh, so I don't feel so bad for using her. I'm just kidding. But now that I know how much work it is, I'm like, I don't know how she did the first season by herself because I would be like,
labor of love. It's her labor of love.
Oh, wait, look, I think you could do something. You sitting there looking cute every week ain't gonna help.
I was having a lot of fun. I always have fun with Gigi, so yeah, it was cool.
Well, I've enjoyed meeting you. If you love, if y'all are cool, like we are cool, then we'll all be fine.
Yeah. So, speaking of, hobbies and survival mode, you do have a side gig.
I do. Yeah. So I do custom embroideries. So at my erose.shop on Instagram, I don't have enough to do an Etsy, but yeah. So I kind of like fell into it. I've always been really artsy and craftsy. And then I busted my ankle last summer, which is really unfortunate because I had just moved to a beach town up here in Massachusetts. So yes, I did go to the beach with crutches. That did not work out well.
Okay. That was going to be my next question.
I would do. I do stuff like that because I am
so stubborn. So I'm like, I want to have a beach day. So we're going to have a beach day. And as I'm like dragging my toddler along with me, I'm like, everything
I'd go out there with a cast on my foot if I had to.
Everything is awesome.
We're just fine.
Once I actually came to terms with my condition, I started I'm always kind of dabbling in different crafts, and that was my friend for my birthday. She gave me a ton of different embroidery kits, and I was like, oh, this is fun, and I really like this, and it combines a lot of things that I like to do, including creating some of my own designs and working with my hands, because that was something when I was doing graphic design that I really missed. I missed the tactile.
Yeah.
Why do I torture myself by going to the beach or living in Massachusetts?
I think they were saying about going to the beach on the crutches.
Yeah.
Because I'm stubborn.
Yeah.
I'm a beach bum. In a beach town, I'm going to the beach.
Yeah, I love living. So I live in Gloucester, and we have some really, really nice beaches up here. For as far as Massachusetts goes, I've never been to Florida, so Catwoman, you'll have to speak for Florida beaches.
I can't.
It just, I was gonna say, it depends on what beach in Florida. They're all different.
It's kind of like Massachusetts. They each have their own flavor.
I am mad. She said she hadn't gone to the beach. Did you hear that?
No, I haven't gone to the beach yet.
Wait.
I've been here for 5 years and I haven't gone to the beach.
Okay. In COVID, I was going to the beach like every other week.
I've been to the beaches in Massachusetts, but every time I'm supposed to go to the beach in Florida, there's something that happens. There's like an algae bloom, or somebody gets bit by a shark, or somebody gets struck by lightning. So
I feel like this is a Florida problem, though.
Yeah, I think I'm just meant to go to the pool and that's it.
I mean, that's fine. Whatever brings you joy.
Speaking of being live on Twitter, once that goes away, because Periscope's going away, we won't be live on Twitter anymore.
They've put out a statement today that they're going to be closing down Periscope like completely in March, right?
Mm-hmm.
All old episodes are still going to be on Twitter, but they're shutting it down. So I guess they're like, we can't compete anymore. There's so many other live services.
Yeah.
The best
part of that. Yeah, I agree. I love the beach there. My favorite beach to go to was actually Lynn Beach.
Oh, I haven't been to that one.
Yeah, I love the boardwalk. It's that one's my favorite. The only thing I don't like is the smell. But other than that, I love it.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah,
I hit that woman up when I got the alert about Periscope. But yeah.
I was like, no. Well, this is like, this is why you don't put all your eggs in one social media basket. So is your favorite social media one Instagram, Emily?
Depends on my mood.
Perfect. That's exactly how you gotta be, though.
Yeah, I feel like I'm perpetually scrolling Twitter, but since the pandemic, it feels more like doom scrolling than anything else, and I'm trying to do things that bring me joy, which tends to be more Instagram these days.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends on how I'm feeling. I don't know. I get all my news and stuff from Twitter. I feel like I follow a lot of angsty people on Twitter, though. Whereas Instagram is pretty. And I follow a lot of
I love Instagram because of that. Like, I love the video and I love the pictures that people take. It's very, very aesthetic. Twitter is more like sensationalism. Okay, so Joan Sharp has a question for you. She says, what is your everyday carry bag? Phone, headphones, earbuds, gadgets, and why?
So currently I'm using an old REI day pack backpacking backpack. Because I go on a lot of walks. I live close to downtown, so Genevieve and I will I'll just throw snacks, and we always have our water bottles with us, always have my phone. I usually forget headphones, hand sanitizer, and mask. I'm very utilitarian, and I am such a bag lady. I always have like a million things, and because I'm like, I have to bring my life with me, so here it is.
So is the bag that you have, is it big?
It's like medium sized. I think it's like.
So you wouldn't consider it a big purse?
18 liter. It would be like a big purse.
Did she say 18 liters?
I did.
Yes.
What? Because it's a backpacking bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do have like actual purses, but that would involve going to places. That would call for that.
Teching Mike said, hey, Google, play Erykah Badu Bag Lady.
And you're going to activate everybody's Google.
Oh, I am so sorry, everybody who has a Google. And you do not have a Google, right, Emily? You have a Siri?
I have Siri on my iPhone, but we have an Alexa who's probably going to hear me say that. And it's great because my daughter loves to talk to her. They have conversations.
Oh, really?
I think mine to echo. We have a news reporter here named Alexa, and so yeah, that's a little awkward sometimes.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Okay. So Joan has a suggestion. She says you should go ahead and get those AirPods headphones.
See, I don't even know what those are. So that shows that
she said she's tech-ish
part of the text. I'm like, oh yeah.
You just went all the way over.
I'll Google it later.
Yeah. So basically, Apple came out with headphones, like studio headphones that you could put over your ear.
Ones over.
I was gonna say, just like the ones Joan has in her, they don't look like that, but they're over the ear like those.
Yeah, they're not buds like how you have them. And
Yeah.
and they're like $600. So it's got to be good, right?
But it's Apple, so the markup is how much?
That's the Apple tax. Yeah, you're right.
How long have you been using Apple products? Like you have an iPhone, right?
Forever. Yeah, I have an iPhone
Forever?
and I have an iMac that's like 5 years old. Yeah, and I used a MacBook for college, so I've pretty much since I've had to purchase my own technology, I've been an Apple person. But now that I'm an adult and I need to be more practical, whenever I am actually looking at things, I'm like I should like PCs, and these are a lot more affordable.
Yeah.
Like, oh, because I've been looking at tablets and maybe getting like a Chromebook or something because I only have a desktop.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't feel like I need a MacBook, especially for that.
Have you ever looked at other tech and was like, maybe I should get something besides an Apple product?
Well, I was gonna ask if she used anything before the iPhone. Like, was she using phones before the iPhone came out?
I mean, I did have like a Nokia brick back in the day.
Oh, okay.
So before iPhones were like a thing. So, and then my favorite of the phones though was like it was an LG with this keyboard that swiped up. That was after I got rid of my BlackBerry. So.
Oh, BlackBerry, yes.
But pretty much like since iPhones like kind of took over, I never really went Droid way, and mostly because of compatibility issues. I was worried that because my computer was all Apple stuff, I was worried that it wouldn't play nice if I got a different kind. So I'm like picking my battles, keeping everything as straightforward as possible.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the sucky thing. You kind of have to do some kind of homework if you're gonna go and dabble outside of Apple, because you want to make sure everything connects. Gigi, we call her bisexual.
Yeah, I'm bisexual. I use both. I use Android and iPhone. So. But I just can't get enough tech
at the same time.
Oh no, I have two different phone numbers. I used to have it so they shared a phone though, a number, but it didn't work so well for iMessage. So I was like, nah. You see, Joan said she knew she was gonna say a Nokia. Sure. How do you just know a person's gonna say, "Oh, I had a Nokia"?
Everybody had a Nokia. Everybody had a Nokia.
I only had one Nokia.
Mine was a color though. Mine wasn't black and white. But so it was like towards the tail end before the brick phones were going out of style.
Okay.
Cheers, got my wine.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cheers.
And you have it in a I don't have anything to drink. I feel bad.
Mason jar.
Well, I got my Get Your Jingle On cup just for Christmas.
Very nice.
Oh, I love it. I always like to tell the story that when I was pregnant, I used to drink out of Prego jars, and it was so punny. It was the best thing ever.
The punniest.
Yes. Oh, LaShawn is here. Hey, LaShawn.
Man. So you talk about the most controversial topics. When you said politics and religion, I'm like, oh boy. Yes. So you're the person everybody wants around. It's like, oh, here comes Emily.
Yeah. If you ever want to like have a little like verbal spar, I'm always
on guard.
Yeah. I come from a very opinionated and loud family, and so I've just kind of embraced it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all my friends, like most of my friends are very politically active, or we've like either met at school when we were doing like churchy stuff. So kind of comes with the territory of that.
So did that mainly spark like you wanting to have that type of dialogue because you were in college, or was it just something that you just always grew up with? Just talking
I just always grew up with it. And all my high school friends, I always felt really dumb compared to all of them because they're like so smart.
Oh, you're breaking up.
Like go schools and then. Okay, I'm just trying to keep. Can you hear me? Am I here?
Okay, we can. You're coming back in.
Yes.
Am I back?
Yes,
I did nothing.
It's fine. It happens.
That's how it is with technology.
This is the world of technology, and everybody's streaming now, and everybody's working remote, so it happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I like briefly did debate team in like middle school.
Cool.
That didn't last long. It was way too like structured.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I've just always been like among people that are really opinionated, and I am also loud, so I like to contribute and have my opinions heard. So
That's
and
great.
then so originally I had gone to a different school, but then I transferred to Gordon up here in Massachusetts and became a Bible major. And just the nature of that degree, it's very like highly intellectual, academic. You get people, because you're dealing with all these different theological theories and stuff. Just the nature of it is you're going to fight with people and disagree with people all the time. Which is kind of fun, but then you have to know your stuff and not be too intimidated. So that's where a lot of it kind of flourished. And then my first job out of college, I was working at a church, and I definitely had a lot of, I wouldn't say fights, maybe they're intense dialogues about different topics. Especially like the intersectionality and the intersection of like politics and religion, because those have often been so siloed and yet they're so interconnected. So trying to bridge those worlds together. So that's like my bread and butter. Those things.
I mean, the good thing though is that well, the good thing though is that it sounds like your family encouraged those types of dialogue and didn't tell you to not talk about it or don't have an opinion about it or anything like that, which is really good because I know I grew up that way.
Yeah, my family doesn't know how to not have an opinion on something, which is just not a bad thing. So we always had very healthy dialogues, and my friends that I had were also really into having similar conversations, and so kind of, and here I am.
Word. Well, we love having you on here. I did see that you embroidered a hat that was kind of like, politically, it was like the Black Lives Matter hat, and then there was the other one about white privilege, and I was like, damn, okay, girl.
I won't show it just because there's curse words on that other one, but that one is still for sale.
Okay.
Which one has the curse words on it? The white
it says it's something to the white cis heteropatriarchy.
Okay.
So it's on my page. Can look at it.
So all the ones that you have on your Instagram, are they still available to be sold, or some of them are?
Only some of them are. A lot of them, when I post them, they're commissions that I've already finished. And I'm just like, look at this thing that I made. Isn't it pretty? Because I don't usually create stuff just on my own. I've been doing that a little bit more lately. Between doing like Christmas orders and stuff. But usually I'll be making pieces because of a commission. Yeah.
The most labor intensive one that I thought was the one that was like the house with the chimney and everything. Was that the one that was most labor intensive? Yeah.
Either that one or the Fiona and Cake Adventure Time one, because they're both just filling in every single spot. And when I did the landscape with the house, on the first one that you see on the Instagram, the first one of the house, that was the first commission I did. And I did not know what I was getting into. Like, it's just like paint by number, but with thread. This will be fine. But because I was just kind of exploring and figuring out different stitches, and one of my friends had commissioned it, so she just kind of gave me a lot of freedom with it. It didn't feel very labor intensive, but it probably took me like weeks to do. And then the Fiona and Cake one, that was just so specific because it's based on Adventure Time, and if you don't do it right, you can tell. Whereas with the landscape, it can be a little impressionistic, and it's fine. You don't have to be as precise. But then doing some of those other ones they're fun though too. I like doing like little nerdy ones.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Hey, King Mike said, Emily sounds like me. I redo rooms in the house and be like, hey, babe, come look what I just did. Do I have an accent when I say chimney?
Oh no.
You're back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I didn't. Did you say it different the first time?
Chimney? Tell me how I say it.
Chimney?
I said I must have missed something.
Oh man, that reminds me when I was younger and I used to say cheese. I used to say chess.
Oh.
And then it wasn't until I turned 22 that I actually said the word question correctly. Me and my sister, we used to say question. We would pronounce the T in the Q.
I would say because we're open forum, even though we have a guest, Lynn. Lynn says she has a specific question, and I think we can throw it in here. Well, and it's not directed to Emily. It's she asked if we were a tech channel, and she was like, "I say we are, but we have a guest. But if you have a question, just throw it out there, and then we'll try to answer her." So,
yeah, today is not very.
We're usually very structured, and we're not structured today. So, go ahead and throw your question out there. If we got your answer, then hey, go for it. There's not a disturb. We're open. We're open for business.
Yes.
And Emily's having wine and I'm having wine. So it's fun. Just let's go.
Cheers.
Hey, tech loving mama. So Joan said that I pronounce it as chimney.
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 Okay.
I say chimney. I do.
Chimney. Okay.
I put an I in it. Yeah. Maybe it's a southern thing. I don't know.
And now when you like say a word too many times in a row, it starts sounding really weird. So you're like, what is this even a word? I don't even know.
Yeah.
And it's not your fault. You're not going to be quiet. We haven't seen you in forever. So ask all the questions you want.
Yes, absolutely. Please. So you are obsessed. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just going to go off some of the. I remember I told you I only cough when I'm on live stream. I remember when the first time she came on the live stream, we had some articles that she was just really, she was helping us with a lot of the abbreviations that we didn't understand.
Yeah. The main one I remember was investing. What's it called again? Not virtual investing, venture capital.
Venture capitalism.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what that is. And then you like broke it down.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what it was that you said. So venture capital is basically like risky money,
but really leaning into more like entrepreneurial efforts. It's not because you're going on a venture, it's risky. Whereas if you're investing in like housing, that's not really considered risky. But if you're investing in an app that does something that no app has ever done, that would be considered venture capitalism.
So there usually isn't a lot of what's it called again? Like legwork. Usually people just like throwing their money at stuff with venture capital.
Well, so it's actually, there's like a whole culture and industry of venture capitalism where there's these contests where people spend all of this time creating these really robust business ideas, but they are not actually launching a business because they don't have the money to do it. So you'll see a lot of startups being in these venture capitalist competitions. There's a couple really good documentaries, and I wish I remembered the names of them that I have seen that highlight some of the journeys of people going through these, because it's really interesting. Because these people, like, they're spending full-time hours, but they have no income, and so they're trying to just persuade these people that have money to burn that this is a good idea. And so they have like 5 minutes to basically prove that they should get all these thousands of dollars for their idea. So
that would give me so much anxiety.
Oh yeah, I don't want to do that. Nope. So I got my 9 to 5 and then my side hustle of embroideries. And everything
That's
is
how it should be.
Well, being that we have two people who are asking the same question.
Okay. So Lynn asks, okay, so I'm looking for a wireless earbud that I can sleep with since I have medical issues and I need to sleep a lot and I fall asleep while listening to YouTube or podcasts, etc. So basically you want to have earbuds. You don't want to do over the ear. You want to have something in your ear.
Well, I think even with Buds, Jake's Baby Cake says Buds hurts her ears when she falls asleep with them in.
See, the thing is that everyone's ears is shaped differently. You would think not, right? Some people's ear canals are bigger. Some of them are smaller. For example,
I forgot we got Joan in here. Look at here.
Oh yes, Joan. Yes, go ahead and advise.
She says they make headbands for that. I wouldn't advise sleeping in earbuds.
Yeah, I would agree. I wouldn't advise sleeping with earbuds either. Not over the ear. Is it because you want to have the noise cancellation? Is that why you wanted the bud to be in your ear? Because to be honest,
that was Jake's baby cakes that said that. It was we're talking to two different people about the same subject. So
okay. Yeah.
Jake's baby cake says she tried the earbuds, but they hurt her ears. Whereas Lynn's just looking for a solution. Period. I didn't know they made headbands for that.
Yeah, they do. They have headbands that have not earbuds, like here.
Now I use I forget what they called it, but the bone crushers or whatever, you were able to hear, but it didn't cover your ears or anything. But you couldn't sleep in that. It's like it goes around your head.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Septon, you fall asleep with buds in your ears all the time. You got big ears or something.
So Lynn said that she wants it for the noise cancellation.
Oh, that's good luck with that.
Yeah, so for noise cancellation, yes, buds are good for that because they're in your ear, but it also causes ear fatigue and it's so close to the eardrum that over time it'll hurt. So you can get over the ear headphones that have noise canceling in them. But again, you need to be able to test out many different ones because of the shape of your ear. You might need a bigger size cup or a smaller size cup. But for going to sleep, I would recommend either over the head, over the ear, or
I had bone conductor. Headband. The bone conductors wrapped around your head, though.
Bone conductors doesn't have noise.
That's not going to work. Yeah, and they don't have noise cancellation at all.
There are if it's really for medical stuff. A couple of years ago, I don't even know what the doctor is called, maybe an audiologist, but they put this like foam in my ear to make molds so that I have these earplugs that are specifically for my ears, and they have different filters for different decibels that you can lessen the noise. It's really for like a lot of musicians will get stuff like that so they don't blast their eardrums because it doesn't get rid of the range of sound. But if you're just trying to get like noise canceling and not necessarily like white noise or like a song or something, that could maybe be a solution.
So I'm glad that you brought up something about like that can mold your ear, because there is a YouTuber named Juan Bagnell.
I was gonna say I remember him. His wife got some, right?
Yeah, that like it's an earbud, but they mold it to your ear canal. So
I'm gonna let you know that.
It was freaky. Like when I got mine done, they put like a syringe of foam in my ear, and I was like, "What's happening? Like it's never gonna get out."
So Joan said noise cancellation. You're asking for a lot. I sleep with my Echo playing sleep sounds. Will that work? Nah, she wants something that like she wants to be encapsulated in the sound, you know. But the best thing to do is just try out different ones. Amazon is a good one to do it because you can always send it back.
I would go with what Emily says first, because that's going to be a doctor doing something that's going to be just for Lynn versus spending a lot of money into things that might not work.
Okay.
And I have no idea how much it cost or anything like that, because that was when I was still on my parents' insurance.
Yeah, I do know the custom things are pricey. And Juan did give a quote for that, but it was so long ago when he talked about that I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, and then like I've had mine, I said a couple of years ago, but I probably had mine for like 8 or 9 years and they still work well.
Oh, so the years started to run together after a while.
So even if you spend a lot on it, you can use it. You can use them for a super long time. So it's a good investment if it's something that you're actually going to use all the time. Can you tell I kind of have a sales job?
So she's up during the day, and that's why she wants the noise cancellation. Because everybody's up during the day.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find it now. Yeah. So Emily, one of the things I know that you said that you're obsessed with, which I also agree, is your kid. I love that you call her your kid. And you just call her G. She's amazing and she's
Baby
hilarious.
G.
Yes.
Gosh.
Oh, G's are always good.
Mhm.
Mhm.
She would also say that she's a goddess if she knew
Oh,
what that
she
word
would?
was. She is such a princess. She is convinced that she is royalty.
Oh, well, see, she's my kind of gal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, little Genevieve, baby G.
Thanks for stopping by, Lynn. And
Yeah.
you're more than welcome to stay. You don't have to leave.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I'm obsessed with my wee babe. I love her. Yeah.
Oh.
She's at her dad's right now. Otherwise, she would be like climbing all over me and being like, yeah, like girl party. Because we can only see pictures of girls.
Yeah. Girl time. Yeah.
She's all about that. Yeah.
I'm all about having some girl time too. It's like most of the streams I get on when we're talking tech, I'm the only female there. So it's just like sausage party.
Well, that's part of why I loved starting to like tune into your podcast, because I'm like two women of color doing tech. You just don't see that. And I think that that's just amazing. So I'm like, any way that I can support that, I'm like, yes.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. I posted the link to the video for the custom molds. And so on
Look
there,
at you. I knew you were going to find it.
Yeah.
Look, now everybody's apologizing. See, these are the people I stream with. They're like, oh, stop it. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Well, she said,
Sweet dreams. Sweet dreams.
You're more than welcome to fall asleep listening to our podcast. I have no issue with that.
Yeah.
Hey, Joan. Hey, I will send you a link, girl. I will send you a link.
Yeah. Absolutely. We love us some Joan.
Yeah, Joan, you can come by my stream. I stream every Tuesday on my channel, 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's something that you taught me about, Emily, Enneagram. So it's different personality types. I haven't taken the test yet, but just by reading all the
I think I've taken this
types.
test. I just don't remember. Like, I've taken so many different personality tests that they all run together after a while.
Yeah.
But this sounds familiar.
Yeah. So the Enneagram, there's basically 9 types, which is like the Ennea prefix on there. The cool thing about this is that it's the tradition and the history of it just goes really, really far back. It was passed down through oral tradition for centuries and centuries until it was eventually written down sometime in the 20th century. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to guess a decade because I'm probably going to get it wrong. But part of the tradition of it is that you learn about all the types. And that's basically like the 7 deadly sins plus 2 more for like the vices of each of them. Because for most personality types, they're looking at behavior, whereas with this is looking at core motivation, like what really motivates your behavior. Because 2 people can act the same, but the reason that they're acting that way is completely different. So this, honestly, I love the Enneagram. One of my mentors in college showed it to me, and I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. And then I like actually got into it, and now I'm like, I love it so much, and I'm like, must share it with all the people.
Yeah.
But I love the nuance that's in it, because even though there's only 9 types, there's so much more to it, like what you look like when you're in strength versus when you're
I definitely did this. I just don't remember which one I was, because it was so, like, when we would do our reviews at work, we would take these personality tests every time we had our annual review. And so I know I've done this one at some point. I just don't remember what the heck I was. The colors, I remember I was green because it made me sound like I was lack of better terms, a jackass. And I thought I was the best at everything. So the green personality, you just think, you're very efficient and you think you know everything and you're better than everybody else at everything. So that's me. I'm the jackass. But I've done this one and I just don't remember which one I was. Now it's bothering me. I'm like, I've done this before.
I feel like I'm number 2. I feel like I'm the helper. That's my motivation. Like, it's like, somebody needs help. But then
I'm too much of a jackass to be the helper.
Yeah, the strengths and the weaknesses, I was like, oh, I really need to take this test. I need to figure out what my motivation is.
Yeah, the strengths and the weakness, I feel like can be so helpful once you really figure out what type you are, because it can also be red flags for you of like, oh, like I'm not okay because I'm acting this way. Like,
oh, look, we got people in the chat.
6.
Loyalist.
Yeah.
Yep, the loyalist. Cool.
Fun fact, the majority of people are 6s.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
So you're more likely to be a 6 than any other number. So, and then part of it too is
you want me to go check my work email.
You can have wings, and so your wing type can be a number next to you. So like I'm an 8, so I would either have a wing 7 or a wing 9, and you can your core number can't change throughout your life, but your wing can change. So like a 9 is like the peacemaker, like a little bit more introverted or quiet. And a 7 is what's a 7 called? I forget what a 7's called.
7.
Michael, we're just alike. Oh, I just had all these up. Look, me and Michael are the same person, but a 7 is the enthusiast.
Yes. So they're like the friend that's
type.
like, let's go do this thing. That's like really spontaneous. Tends to be a lot of like entrepreneurs, because they're like, let's do the thing. So, and then 8s. So I'm a challenger. I'm like,
I was either a 1 or a 7. I had to be. I don't know.
So I'm like all about power dynamics, but like depending on how I am, I might be more like loud and like a 7, or I'm just like,
that's what it was. I was close to 2 numbers, and they like Michael said, can you be an 8 and a 9? And it was just like when you it was something to where they were reading into it to where you were cross between the two. You had characteristics from both.
Yeah, so you probably have your core, and then your wing would be the secondary one if it's like the number next to it. Yeah.
So I haven't taken the test, but when I was reading the different types, I'm like, I feel like I'm a number 2, but I need to take the test.
No,
and
you gotta take
it free, by the way. Like it's not something.
Yeah, there's a ton of good tests out there. Enneagram Institute is the standard, like really good place to start with at least learning about it. There's also a ton of like Instagram accounts about all this stuff. The best book, I don't have it, but I have the sequel. Sorry. The Road Back to You by Susan Stabile is like one of the best Enneagram books, and she actually has a podcast too, and it goes through all of it. And then this is the sequel, The Path Between Us, and it's how different numbers react with each other and interact with each other, which is really like, I think a lot of the goal in doing personality typing and self-reflection is like, how do I live better with the people in my life? And also understand how people work, because I just kind of assume that everybody thinks the way that I do because the way that I think is right. And therefore...
That's me, the jackass. I'm sorry.
So it's really helpful. It's been super, super helpful in a lot of like my relationships and dynamics, just figuring out like, oh, you don't just like hate me. You're just tired. That's what's happening right now. So it helps like actually give language and words to conflict that you might not have even realized were there. So I'm all about it. And I'm an 8, which means I'm like very aggressive, if you can't tell.
What about your daughter? Have you like tried to maybe think about what type of number she is?
I haven't. So traditionally, again, I'm going back to tradition, is that like children can't have a number because they're not fully developed yet. And usually your number and your core motivation is based off of like whatever your main like childhood trauma was, for lack of a better word. So
that makes sense.
Like I've seen a lot of like kids of divorced parents or kids of that are one of many siblings be a 3, and that's the achiever, because in order to get positive attention, they would achieve things. And so their core motivation is to get positive attention, just as an example. Yeah,
that makes sense.
So it's like, oh, what's your childhood trauma? Like that's a light conversation to have.
Right. So Joan said that she thinks the number 4 is negative, the individualist. the sensitive withdrawn type, expressive, dramatic, self-absorbed, and temperamental.
Okay,
But see, on my
so
end,
none
I
of
have.
them are negative.
I was
They're
gonna say I
all
have artist, romantic, individualist, and their feeling is heart.
Mhm.
So they're on the heart side of things. So I don't really think that's a negative.
You'll see
'Cause
like
it's
a
not-
lot of
it's not
artists
based off
are
of-
4s.
Yeah.
I was trying to
So
send her the picture that I have so she could see that it's not negative.
Yeah. The cool thing, though, what I'm understanding about the Enneagram is not that it's saying what personality that you have, is what motivates you. So what makes you complete a task or attack something a certain way or finish your goal. And so really no Enneagram is actually negative or positive. It's just what motivates you and gets you going.
Yeah, and it's a tool. Like, I think I forget who had said it, but that it's a negative thing. So depending on who's writing about it, I think they can frame certain types as negative. Like female 8s are typically framed as bitches, like straight up, because we're like, we want to be the CEO in the room. We're always like the one that's being like, I'm going to take over the group project because like none of you know what you're doing and I just need to do this right now.
This needs to get done.
Yeah, and it's like, let's get it done now. So like Enneagram 8 females are the bitches, but it's like, I don't feel like I'm a bitch.
Yeah. I feel
a little bitchy sometimes.
But also, I think it also like, I feel like everybody has their almost like superpower. And it helps almost explain that. Like, I can walk into a room and almost immediately can figure out like everybody's weaknesses. And it's like, how do I wield that power? That makes me sound like a Sith Lord or something. But for some people, it's like they can see like the best way to organize something and like systems, and that's how their brain works. So like 1s are really, really good at systematizing things, whereas like 8s, what I am, is a lot more about like relational and power dynamics and being able to like feel that when you walk in a room of like who actually like is running this right now.
Yeah,
I like this. I need to retake this or figure out what my score was, because I
love it. And then you'll also see that there's different triads too. So of like where kind of like your decision making comes from. So 8, 9s, and 1s are all in the gut triad. So very instinctual. You might be a 1 if you think you have no weaknesses, because they're the perfectionists.
Mike, we're not paying that any attention. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
We always have at least one person show up from Twitch.
Yes.
And we don't know. Sometimes they're friends, sometimes they're foe, but happy holidays to you too. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. And then you have your head center, which is 5, 6, and 7, and then the heart center is 2, 3, and 4. So it's, and there's like even subtype. You can get like real deep into this, but it starts off with just 9 types, and then you can go from there.
So I forgot who was it that asked earlier. So is this like attributed to your signs, like your zodiac signs? But your zodiac signs has 12, and this is 9. But I do kind of see it kind of like a similar concept, because zodiacs have the rising signs and the moon signs.
I don't know enough about the zodiac stuff to be able to comment. Yeah, I have no idea. But they're in like Twitter world, there's a lot of like Enneagram and astrology like crossover, and it's interesting to see a little bit of those like communities and those voices. So like, I don't know.
It's funny because this Twitch person makes me think about zodiacs too, because their name is the True Tarot, and I don't know everything about tarot cards and stuff like that, but I do know a little bit about it, that it does kind of commingle with zodiacs and things like that. So
I would like to know how to read tarot cards. I don't know why. I just would like.
They look really pretty.
Yeah.
Like the design is beautiful. I feel like some of them are just gorgeous. See, I get back to the art stuff. I'm like, they're just so pretty.
Yeah.
Right. But you look at it and you're like, the card comes up and then you look at it and you're like, oh, that's really pretty and animated stuff. But I know it's supposed to be really sensitive. You're not supposed to let anybody touch your cards and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had your tarot cards read and it actually come true?
I've never had one read, period.
No, I was raised like way too conservative Christian. Like Baptist.
Yeah, that's witchcraft, you know?
Yeah. Like, we're barely like able to play with dice. So like,
it wasn't that extreme, but yes.
I had very fundamentalist roots. Not
No Dungeons and Dragons for you.
No, I know what you're saying.
X Fundy. Because it's like gambling, and it's like it's of the devil.
It's on that borderline because I was a Girl Scout and we had our meetings at a church, and one day we had downtime and we started playing cards, and they were like, "You're playing cards in the church." We're like, "And?"
My family wasn't that bad, but it was still like you can kind of see the remnants of some of that. And like I was in church all the time, so like you get all the flavors of people that are like real deep, depending on how long you've been in.
Why I gotta be Mother Gigi though?
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
You said you are a goddess, right? Goddess of all the gadgets.
So you can be the mother goddess,
the goddess of the tarot cards. Oh, y'all stop it.
The goddess.
Okay,
of
Jake's baby cake fish. I was raised very religious and always scared to get a tarot card reading. So yeah. There's a stigma with everything, kind of like
I'm
therapy.
Really intrigued by it, but I'm also like, I might get zapped with lightning. So like, is it worth it? Probably not.
Hey, Eric. Eric comes in when we're talking about tarot cards. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I had my tarot, the first time I had a tarot card reading and something actually came true, I was told that I was going to be pregnant in a year. And that's when I had my twins.
That's terrifying.
Right. That was scary.
So then I would start going, and then I would start going when I had a job every 2 weeks to go get my tarot card reading.
Oh my God.
That's how they suck you in.
What's gonna happen next week? What's gonna happen in the next 2 weeks? What's gonna happen in the next 2 weeks? I was upset. And it wasn't Massachusetts, so Witchland.
Like my mom, she had a dream that I was pregnant before I told her that I was pregnant. And then when I told her, I was like, "Hey, I need to tell you something." And she's like, "You're pregnant, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yes, how did you know?" So like I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
She had the dream with the fish in them. Everybody says when somebody dreams about fish, somebody's pregnant. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, right.
They're like, baby. God. There was a baby.
So like, the Ouija board. Jake's baby cake says she will not touch a Ouija board.
Yes, I have. So
I have to.
The middle school.
Yeah, I was young too. I was young. It was at a sleepover, and we all did the Ouija board thing. So
does anybody not do it in a sleepover context though? Because I feel like I've only heard of people using those like at a sleepover, like under. So
mine was after school, so they let us out early, and I didn't tell my grandma. So I went and hung out over at my friend's house, and I don't know what we were gonna do, and she just busted out with the Ouija board, and so we put our hands on it, right, and we're doing the Ouija board, and I'm like, "Who's moving it? Nobody's moving it. It's the ghost." I'm like, "Somebody's moving. Who's moving it?" Like I didn't believe it. So then one time, my grandmother, because she was into like Santeria, like which is like the Hispanic version of voodoo. She actually brought in a Ouija board into the house on Halloween, and she was gonna play it, and me and my sister started crying. We're like,
"Oh my gosh!" See, that would terrify me. I would have nightmares for days. Like,
yeah. She didn't use it though, because we were like making a big fuss out.
Oh yeah. I saw in the comments questions about the Myers-Briggs and the Enneagram. There's recently a series done on the Just My Enneatype Instagram page that surveyed every type and their Myers-Briggs, and it showed what percentages were for the different types. So I think it's Just My Enneatype is the handle for that one. But there isn't really a ton of crossover that I've seen because Enneagram is so much older than most of the others.
What is Myers-Briggs?
It's like I just know what mine is. I'm an ENFJ. It's the one that's 4 letters.
Okay, yeah, okay. I know which one you're talking about.
It's like judgment versus perception, thinking versus intuition. I don't know. But for Lynn and Michael.
Yeah. I've done Bloody Mary. I did it on a Halloween night. It was at
See, that's the thing that you do as a child. I'm like, Okay, so I'm not really going to bust hell wide open. I did this at a sleepover. So
Oh no. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm not messing with that. Nope. I'm good.
I remember
I got nightmares already.
I lived in a, what's it called, like, an apartment building in New York, where like they had a bunch of different apartments and stuff, and they had a party in the basement, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm going to die tonight. So I was 9. I went into the mirror and I said it, and then I came out, and like there was strobe lights, and I'm like, I'm gonna die, and nothing happened. I was like, oh, okay.
No thanks.
Techie Mike said, I remember my best man.
Oh, let me put that back up.
Oh, Techie Mike said, I remember my best man when we were first becoming friends years ago. This fool stayed over my house, passed out drunk, talking about how he saw a demon and said, and your demon need to get out.
You and your demon need to get out.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't mess with any of that stuff. Nope.
Yeah.
I'm good.
But see, the fact that I think about this as an adult now, and I'm like, why would you buy your child a Ouija board? Like, why would we have somebody talking their parents bought them a Ouija board?
As a mother, I would not do that. Like, it makes you wonder, like, what advertising was happening. Like,
because I've always hung with everybody under the sun. I've never had a problem with race, nationality. So these girls happen to be Asian, so they were the ones with the Ouija board. But I'm like, why your mama let you? Well, they were Korean. I had a Chinese friend too, but they were Korean, and I'm like, where y'all get a Ouija board from? At first, I was like, what is a Ouija board? Never heard of one. Never heard of it at that point. So yeah, I got suckered into that one. But then after the fact, I was like, whose parents buy them some stuff that is supposed to call up spirits?
Or does it just show up? Does it just appear with your games? Like in the game cover?
Well, I could say that it's a cultural thing because me and my sister, when we were raised by our grandmother, she did Santeria, which is like the Hispanic version of voodoo. And so, it's weird because it's like a crossover between voodoo and Catholicism. So what happened was back then, in the island of Dominican Republic, they had voodoo, but because they were being colonized, they had to mask their religion. So what they did is they created quote unquote saints, but it was just under the, the spirits that they used to, that they used to believe in with the religion. So it just kind of merged together. So I growing up, I knew bits and pieces of witchcraft and Catholicism and Christianity, Judaism, because it all kind of like commingled together. And so that's why certain people had, like certain Hispanic people, they might go more towards the witchcraft side of it. And some people might go more towards the Christian Catholicism side of it. So there was just so many different types of branches and factions that so many people had went into so many different types of things. And when you're young, you're curious. You're like, I want to know how the world works.
Yeah, but I'm talking about a Milton Bradley Ouija board. I'm not talking about
like a culturally.
This is a homemade one. This is something you buy out of the store. Like, who buys their child that?
It's easier to lie to your parents, especially when they don't understand English. Get me that, because they don't know what it means. Like, they're like, oh, okay, it's a toy. I'm going to get it for my child. And that's how a lot of people, like younger kids, got away with their parents getting them certain things.
Maybe that's why. Maybe because I've been exposed to all kinds of cultures and shit. I was like, what is this? What are we doing tonight? Yeah. It's 1 a.m. We're going to play with this board. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I'd been like, I'm tired.
I know, right?
I want to say I was like in middle school, though. I was really young.
Yeah. Sometimes I would go through these phases where I would feel like a risk taker. And I'm like, let's see if this happens. And I used to watch a lot of anime and I'm like, oh, nothing happened. All right. Well, I guess I was dumb.
Oh boy, are we talking about fruitcakes again? Weren't we talking about fruitcakes earlier in the week?
Yeah, we were talking.
Was it on my stream?
Yeah, it was on your stream. Yeah.
I don't like fruitcake.
I love fruitcake. I love the way it tastes. How about you, Emily? You like fruitcake?
Yes, one of these gaming companies had a game they sold in the store. You can still go buy it. It's a Ouija board.
Sorry, what'd you say, Emily?
I don't even
Sorry.
know if I've really had like a
Fruitcake.
fruitcake.
A
Yeah.
fruitcake?
I
Yeah.
prefer
Yeah.
cheese balls myself.
Like what constitutes a fruitcake? Like is a
Nasty.
cake
So-
with fruit in it? Like
It's
that's
not
a
real
really dumb
fruit, though.
question.
Well, it's like candied fruit. So it's like, it's
yeah, I've
not all the
not
way
had one.
dried, but it's been, I guess, bathed in sugar for a while, but it hasn't fermented. It's weird. It's definitely different, but
I probably have avoided. I'm like kind of a picky eater, so I've probably
Yeah.
avoided.
Well, I would definitely have those nachos you made earlier. I'll tell you.
They're
that.
really
know, right?
good.
Yeah, it's very
I
exciting.
forgot to add hot sauce though. That was the sad part. Next time.
Joe said she tasted one piece and spit it out.
The fruitcake.
I
Holiday
validated then
cheese
for not
balls
trying
is really good.
fruitcake.
Mm-hmm.
The first one-
I've never done the holiday. Maybe we're just culinarily boring.
He said fruitcake is for old folks. LaShawn, you are
Like I'm
old,
pretty
man.
sure the only time I've like seen fruitcakes is on the Great British Bake Off.
Probably,
Oh,
yeah. Because so fruitcakes are actually kind of, well, the ones that I've eaten are oily, but I love the oil. Like it's so satisfying. Don't look at me like that.
I mean, you do you. You do whatever brings
We
you
have
joy.
these random moments every week. You know, last week it was white residue. Now I like mine oily. Like,
Yeah. See, I have a trend of confessing things and not knowing that it sounds weird until after the fact.
It's really entertaining though.
Okay.
you know, it's funny, LaShawn, because Catwoman's kids call me K-Wimey.
Yes, kawaii.
I just respond to people at this point. If they call out something that's eerily similar to Kimmy, like my girl in New York calls me K. So that's not even close. Like K, Kimmy, Kimba. They got some people at work call me Kimba. Cammy. I mean, my initials are Cam. So I got Cammy. Yeah. I respond to everything at this point. So it's just like.
And then
Like,
you
hey,
got
you with the
Gigi
face
because
over
you're
there.
Gadget Goddess.
So.
So do you have any commissions coming up for your embroidery?
Yeah, I have a really funny one coming up.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it says please close toilet lid before you flush. And they're gonna put it in their bathroom, and it's gonna be like very classic looking with a lot of antique flowers on it, done in like a script font.
That's amazing.
So I'm like, sweet, let's do it.
Would you classify this as the weirdest piece you've ever had to create?
Oh, it's really fun. Like it's pretty similar style to other ones that I've done before of like some kind of text with very floral. I don't know. It just seems like it's in the same flavor. I just do a lot of like quirky things.
Mm-hmm.
So like I did that Skyrim one that was a rainbow because I'm like, this is fun.
Cool.
Why not?
Yeah. Have you ever had to turn down a commission because you felt like you couldn't do it, or you didn't feel like morally you could do it or ethically, or
No,
Nope.
There was one that when I got it, I was like, okay, we'll see how this goes.
yeah.
I just posted it recently. It's the hydrangea bouquet. I was so intimidated, and I was like, what did I get myself into? Like, hydrangeas are not easy to draw, paint, sew, whatever. They're so complex. But it really pushed me to figure out like, okay, how am I actually going to do this? So it made me think a little bit more about my process and be more intentional. So I'm glad I did it. But so far I haven't had anything that's like, whoa, slow your roll. Yeah. Like, no.
That's good. That's good.
We'll see. Time will tell if that does happen. But so far, no.
Yeah. I was looking for a picture that somebody sent me a while back, just because I wanted Emily's opinion on it from her perspective, but I can't even remember what was in the picture. But I just know I had a friend that was a lawyer in Florida, and during COVID, everybody's handling everything differently. And he
That's one.
walked in,
That's
and
one way to
so
put it.
he was doing closings and whatnot. So he would just go by to do closing. Some people were doing them in garages. Some people would actually invite him in.
Mhm.
And so this woman invited him in, offered him water and everything. And my friend's a Black attorney, and this is an older white couple. And he goes into the bathroom, and he sees like these little figurines, and like there's one. It's like the hand washing thing that says whites only, and then it has for colors over here. And he was like, "What would you do in this situation?" I'm like, I don't know. Like, he's like, nobody came off as like racist or anything. And I was like, maybe she collects.
Yeah, but that's not something you collect. There's a line.
And I was just like, I don't know what I would do at that point. Like, you're there working. So, and she knew what was in her bathroom before she sent him in there.
That's
So
not okay. That's, yeesh.
Because I think I actually tweeted it out to get opinions, and I got a lot of opinions on it, but that was months ago. But I was just like, it was really weird because I was just like, wow.
I would want to say that I would walk out, but if it's
because that was the other thing. Like, a lot
so
of friends said they wouldn't even finish.
Like,
they would have said they couldn't do it. I'm not doing this closing.
Yikes. You're like, so we're just gonna put this in the trash and burn it down and like cleanse this area when it's.
That's I was like, I tried to give them the benefit of that because I was like, what was it? Somebody maybe having collectibles or something? It was like, nah, I don't think so. I didn't see anything else to that effect.
No, that's not okay.
It was really weird, and I was just like,
yeah.
I muted myself because my Bluetooth disconnected and it won't connect. Hold on. Sorry, guys.
Oh, you're trying not to echo on us? Come on, bring them echoes on.
As we're talking about like really intense bathroom decor.
So what do you decorate a bathroom with? Like, do you do any bathroom design? Yeah, I know. But do you do anything like, well, besides the flush, put the lid down?
My bathroom's too
made
small.
me think of it when you said you did put the lid down. I was like, speaking of bathrooms.
Yeah, my bathroom's too small to have any decorations. So I feel like though there's some really cute shower curtains out there these days that, like, if you want to spruce up a space, like your bathroom space, there's some really good shower curtains. Fun fact. If you're going to decorate your bathroom.
I have beach-themed shower curtains because I so rarely get to go to the beach. You're at the beach. That's like dreamland for me. I'm a mermaid.
You gotta move to the beach.
Nah.
So
now that my son's graduated, I'm a lot more move around.
I was going to circle back to the situation about the bathroom. I know that most likely I would take a picture just because.
Yeah, that's how I received it in picture form.
Yeah, I would take a picture and I wouldn't say anything about it just because I'm in work mode. I would warn other people. I would definitely warn other people. When I'm in work mode, like, oh, that person has this in their bathroom. They're
they're never going to see this person again. They're just doing a closing.
Well, yeah, I know. But like, if somebody was to ever mention them or something like that again, I would warn them.
Yeah. I'd be really torn about calling them out for it. Because
and I think that's where he was with it.
Yeah.
It was like, do I do this closing and make the money, or do I say something about it and say I can't finish the closing?
But it sucks though, because that, like, your livelihood is tied into it. Especially now.
He was doing on the side, so it wasn't even like his.
Okay.
So
yeah. If it wasn't my main.
Yeah.
If it wasn't my main.
You told him kick rock.
Oh. Yes. If it
also makes me think, like, who are these people friends with that no one has like shamed them enough to remove that from their public bathroom?
Out your bathroom.
Yeah, I'm super confused about that.
Like, I would not be friends with someone that had, like, that would be a friendship deal breaker, hands down.
But I guess it blew him because he was like, "Oh, she was so friendly, and she's offering me water and stuff." I was like, "I would have took that water."
Right?
I feel like, is this the right
I'll take my
water for
saliva,
me?
thank
Thanks. Oh my god.
Which faucet did you get it from?
Look.
Oh my
They
gosh.
nailed it, Emily. You're an 8, so she can come up with something passive aggressive.
Like, can you help me understand? I'm just really intrigued by your decor. Can you help me understand what's going on in there? I've never seen a bathroom decorated like that before.
They're like, it's 1930s inspired.
They're like, well, we're not in the 1930s anymore. So,
Right, exactly.
I'm gonna see if I can find this picture, because if I find it, I'm sending it to Catwoman, and she's gonna put it up on the screen because I know y'all don't believe me.
Yeah.
Oh, I believe you. There's some pretty like screwed up people out there, and they don't even. The sad thing is that they probably don't think that what they've done is like wrong.
Yeah.
And
What
okay.
state was that in? Was it?
No, it's Florida.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Florida.
I want to say, Mike's town, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Okay. Yeah. Florida is a peculiar place to live in because there's so many different types of people that live here, but the most amount of people that live here are older people. So they have that kind of older mentality, but then you have like the newer generation that's more progressive, and you definitely see the clash in it because you'll see, like, even just like technology wise, like one street will be like super futuristic with the technologies and the touch screens, and then like the next street over is like shingles, like there's a cow, like it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, like Florida is very, very divided.
Well, it makes sense because, like, I know people that live here during the summers and then live down there in the winter.
Right.
And you even see it in the news and the politics of how Florida ends up being such a battleground state because you have such diverse, what's the word I'm thinking of? People. That's not the word I was thinking of, but electorate.
Yeah.
And it's like older people tend to go to the polls more, but even though there might be more like younger progressive thinkers, it's that was one of the things that I was like upset about. I was like, oh, Florida was red, and then Gigi was like, well, check out your district. How did your district do? I was like, oh, it was blue. Okay, I feel better. Yeah.
But when I started to realize that a lot of the the voting and stuff like that is red is places that really doesn't have a lot of people there.
Yeah. And
so it's just only like a few hundred versus like, the cities like here, like we live in type city places, there's more people, it's more densely populated. And it's like, it's weird because it kind of does feel like sometimes the few controls the many.
Oh, it is definitely that way. It is 100% that way. Like our country was founded on like white men gaining and maintaining power. And like the way that all of our like election systems are, all like the gerrymandering, all of it, it's all to sustain that, like, frankly, like systemic racism, sexism, all of that. So you're totally right. Like the fact that like the Senate versus the House of Representatives is a perfect example of like the Senate, you have, it's 2 per state, but then you have one person representing like millions of people, and one person representing like 200,000 people, and yet they have the same amount of power and the same voice. So
exactly.
Anyway,
and when I first learned about gerrymandering, I was confused. I was like, wait, how is that even legal? Because
it's
a lot of
and
see the gerrymandering, a lot of it is done based off of the information from the census. And so the fact that this year in 2020 they were trying to put the question about whether or not somebody has citizenship, I'm like, that would make gerrymandering way more powerful, way more convenient, because then you would find out where the actual voters are or more likely to vote at. And I was just like, this is killing me. It was funny though, because when I had one of the census people come to my house and I was like, yeah, come on in, let's do the census. And I told her about my background, my daughter's background, husband's background. There, she was like, "You guys are the most diverse background people I've met today." I was like, "Really? Cool. I hope that's a good thing." She was like, "It is."
Yeah.
Great.
But then there's also like census suppression. Like, I don't know if you saw that they ended up ending the census a lot earlier than they were originally supposed to. And it's like, who does that actually benefit to stop counting everybody in the country? Like, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, I know that they were trying to make it more electronical, so that way it would be more, but it wasn't easy because I went to the website and I was so confused. So when that person came to my door and knocked on my door, I'm like, yes, I didn't know how to answer these questions.
I got mine in the mail. Like, I got this giant thing and it's just me and my daughter. So I'm like, well, half of this is just pages for household members I don't have.
Yeah.
Check your messenger, Catwoman.
Oh, okay. Yes, I will check it out.
It's not how I remembered it, but it's still sus.
Still sus, okay. Oh my.
And Michael says, Joan, that sums it up. I mean, it's all about learning, though. Because a lot of people come from backgrounds where they were raised a certain way and they decide to change. And so there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm. That's like which party? Oh.
Right? I looked at it, I was like, yeah, that is not okay. That is not okay.
That's really attractive. That's no.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
That's not
to say hot and cold. That doesn't work as well.
But even if you switched it around, whichever one's supposed to be the hot and cold, it's just not okay. Because that's not even how water works.
You could put it in the trash because it's not like nailed to the wall.
I think that is probably the best solution. Throw it in the trash. Or steal it. We fighting.
For sure.
They said that don't look old, y'all. And see, I was trying to make it right. I was
like, did they go to one of those like paint nights and make it themselves?
I was like, maybe they collect antiques, and I was like, no, that don't look antique.
Maybe it's like DIY.
The audacity, though.
But you let the person use the bathroom when they are black. Like,
maybe they
probably don't even realize that it's not okay. That's the thing. Like, they're probably so delusional and wrapped up in their own whatever world that they've created in their mind that it's like, well, it's fine because it's my bathroom. Like,
yeah, I can do it. It's my bathroom. I do it all one in my bathroom.
I can be racist in whatever room I want to be racist in. It's my house.
Oh, tech free needs. That's sweet. Emily's welcome back anytime. Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
I know being a single parent would limit her time, but she's always welcome.
Yeah.
It's okay. Absolutely. Well, every other Thursday, Genevieve is at her dad's house. So
word. Well, I'm glad that you're having fun and you actually want to come back and stuff.
Yeah, it's super fun.
I'll try.
Listen, it looks like they clean it every day or something, right? Like they touch it up.
Bring it to like Antiques Roadshow and see what they say.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Get it televised on good old PBS.
How much is that worth? They'd be like,
although
0.
PBS would probably edit it out because they have more awareness. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
I would act a fool if I saw that.
You would act like you were on the clock?
Oh yeah. I'd be like, first of all, that's not how water works. Secondly, are you kidding me?
Mike, those are some of your neighbors. That happened in Jacksonville, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing is, I feel like I have like extended family members that would probably have something like that in their bathrooms and think that it's fine because well, it's historical, and but it's like it's American culture, And I'd be
Do we
like,
want to talk about historical and American culture? I have a neighbor whose granddaughter, well, her daughter and her daughter's husband adopted an African American female. Now, daughter is foreign. I think she's Norwegian or something. Her husband's Italian. They're beautiful people. And they've adopted this black child. And they took her from a family where the mother was just struggling to take care of all the kids she had. So they even wanted to buy the mom a car. Like they're really nice people, just generally nice. And there was a discussion going on about, and I was not part of this discussion, about the Confederate monuments when they were taking them down earlier this year. I'm just like, I have a problem with that. Not me personally. This is grandma to the black grandchild. I think all of my kids and my grandkids should know about their heritage. And I'm like, little Billy ain't got nothing to do with that heritage. Like, Billy is the black kid. So I'm like, little Billy don't have nothing to do with, any of that heritage. So how is that helping little Billy out? All you're going to do is confuse little Billy.
Because it's celebrating it.
Yeah.
Not condemning it. So
Not
literally
only that, it's exalting it.
Yeah.
You're exalting it when you have monuments and statues like that up. No, that's not okay.
It's interesting to listen. Like I said, I wasn't there, but it's interesting to listen to somebody try to explain the situation and say, hey, this is okay because.
Yeah.
White people were really good at justifying our racism. We've been doing it for hundreds and hundreds of years. So
that happens in my culture too, because where I live in the Dominican Republic, they're very proud of saying that Christopher Columbus' corpse was buried in Dominican Republic because he loved the Dominican Republic so much that he wanted to be buried there. Though Spain says, no, we got his body, and the Dominican Republic is like, we got his body. But I'm like, but knowing what Christopher Columbus did to the island of Hispaniola is so sad. Like, why would you want to, be like, yay, we got his body. Woo-hoo, come on down.
Yeah.
Joan is all on board now. She's like, hey, I got to get all this stuff done.
We're going to start calling you, Emily. You're going to start doing commissions on Enneagrams. Yeah.
Like, let me do my consultation.
Michael said she needs to come on and read next time. So we're going to have a reading segment every other week on Gadget Chats where Emily comes in and reads to y'all.
Yes, that would be lovely. I would love that. I'd be down for that 1,000%. Yeah.
What's up, QC Daz? Look, if you come in under another name trying to confuse us, I know who you are.
I want to go back real quick to the story that you were telling about the white family that had basically adopted this African American child and then wanted to pay for a car for the mom. Like, transracial adoption is so incredibly complex, and I feel like so many white parents don't know how to do it right because it comes from a place of like white saviorism. Like they would. That was
the question that was proposed. Like,
because like
we
if
buy
they have
the car
money
because the mom doesn't have the car, we really want the mom to be able to travel back and forth and get to work and stuff. But we don't want to open this door to where it's just like she comes back and asks for money all the time.
Which is so, like, that's incredibly condescending and patronizing. And it creates this power dynamic of, like, we need to control our gift to this person. And if they have the money to buy the woman a car, they probably have the resources to be able to fund her, to be able to keep all of her children in the same house. Like, why did they still have to take her kid? Like,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to whether they can have kids, though.
But there's also,
but even so,
there's other ways.
There's always mentorship
adoption.
programs.
There's other ways to still do adoption well, and clearly, like, the family didn't have the education, because if I was going into a situation like that, I would prep my parents and my family of, like, this is what it means to have, like, a black child in our home, or at least what I understand to mean to have a black child in our home and in our family. And defending Confederate monuments that's not it. That's not it. And it would be my responsibility as the parent to call that out and be like, nope, that's not what we do in our family. So I think there just needs to be a lot more, like, critical thinking and self-reflection that goes on before doing that.
Yeah, Absolutely.
I don't know. It's really complex.
my
None of
God.
it's simple. But that was like my
Yeah.
first gut reaction.
Yeah, like definitely the nuance is there, but the nuance was not discovered until after the fact. And it just sucks because that does cause trauma to the child. It's a psychological trauma
Yeah.
because it's like this person loves and cares me so much, but me and like at my core, if I wasn't attached to them in this way, how would they treat me? You know, they wouldn't fight for my right. And that sucks like 1000%. It's horrible.
Thanks.
Oh, now you like her? Now you like her, Mike? I'm just messing with Mike.
Oh man.
Yeah. So like for example, my husband, he's from half Trinidadian, half Jamaican. And I was born in Dominican Republic. So our relationship was a little bit easier culturally because we have a lot of the same types of foods. Some of them, we call them a little bit different, and certain types of like cultural beliefs and things like that. We had to shape it to define what our family is, but it was a little bit easier. But like, for example, when I dated some like, you know, a guy that was Black, it was a little bit different because of the, you know, the USA type of cultures and stuff like that. And then also when I dated someone that was white as well, I would hear
like these discussions all the time because, you know, the discussion we had earlier this week about I'm an American, and you're like, that kind of low key, like when somebody says I'm American, it's like, yeah, you're from North America.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I try to hone that into people as often as possible because when people talk about, you know, being American, they exclude Canadians and Mexicans out of that. And that's not fair because they're part of North America as well. So
look, we running this.
Sorry.
So you're fine.
Oh man.
We're used to the tech woes.
My phone is now in 20% because apparently it's not actually charging. So that's good.
Oh no, dongle fail. That sucks.
Oh, but still got 20% left. We're good.
Okay.
Guys, I need a laptop. That's what we're learning from this.
Well, here's the thing. We usually go about an hour. Whenever we have a guest, we always go over that hour because we just have fun.
It is fun. I'm having fun with my rants.
I'm glad you could make
the
it.
rant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I do have to say, like, with my like, I'm like very, very 8, but with my like opinions on like the interracial stuff, like that is not something that I have like come to a place on my own. Like I have had to very much like examine my whiteness and do a lot of like research and learn from like a lot of people of color and try to like make my blind spots a little smaller. So like this is not stuff that I don't even know. I wish I could cite it where I like learned all of this stuff.
No, but see, that's what it is. It's like you took the time to sit down and learn. And a lot of people don't have that kind of time.
But they don't
it's kind of
like people make time for their priorities.
I remember, I was telling somebody, I said, you know, I got a work mom, right? She's retired now. But I used to call this woman my work mom. And there was this guy, and he was just like, oh, you talk about your work mom all the time. We had a jersey day at work where we wore our football jersey to work. And I said, oh, work mom has her jersey on. I have mine on. Take a picture together. And I took a picture and sent it to him. He says, you didn't tell me she was white. It's like, did it matter?
Yeah.
Because me and work mom could have these conversations like you're saying you had when she had a question about something, because work mom was literally old enough to be my mom. So she had members of her family that were affiliated with these associations that didn't like Black people. She chose to step away from that. So those people I have the utmost respect for because they don't have to learn. They could follow the trend.
Yeah. And I think that's a really great example too of like older generations of like, well, they're not going to change. They're set in their ways, but it's really just giving them a license to live in their privilege. And like growing up with the internet, I'm like a little less comfortable with my privilege because it's like thrown in my face a little bit more, but I'm also like opting into content that pushes me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could totally be leaning into my privilege and be like, well, it doesn't actually affect me, so it's fine, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So Michael said, for me, it also wasn't, I met a few people that allowed me to have the conversation and understand things. It's hard because you don't want to offend others, but there's questions, and it's nice when you can address those in an open dialogue. Yeah, I agree 100%. Because even when I was, coming into my own, and I was not, and I was pulling further away from kind of like the culture that I grew up with, and trying to like really find myself. I would actually look into USA studies, not only just USA, but then also South America, and to really figure out like what is it as a whole, what can I contribute myself in this global community, because I might just be one person, but my politics and the way that I live my life does affect other people. So if I vote to take rights away from someone else, not only am I hurting that other person, I'm also hurting myself in the future, because now the box gets smaller and smaller. It's only going to be a matter of time till they come after you.
But you've taken the time to learn things that people who were born and raised here don't even know about their background, Miji. Like the conversations we have, I'm like, Miji knows more than a lot of Black people I know about Black stuff. And it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
And it's also
we have to work too. It's not all about, oh, the white people don't understand us. We have to understand us too. That's part of the problem. So, I'm not one to say, okay, we're perfect in this situation, because we're not either. Everybody needs to work. We all need.
Yeah. So for what I think is also sad as well is that I didn't decide to learn this because of a good situation. I decided to learn about this because of a bad situation. Because growing up, I was told, don't hang around the Black kids. Don't get married to a Black guy. Don't have children with Black guy, because you're gonna mess up your race. Like being told that growing up, and I'm like, for me, fundamentally, that doesn't feel right. Why is this being told so freely? I need to figure this out. And then kind of like going back into the history and to where things are now, I'm like, I understand it. And I understand that I have a role to play, and that I need to take a bigger stand. Not only just talking about it, but the way that I use my money and who I choose to support. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And I think my journey with a lot of this started in the context for me of church, because my church experience has been very like white evangelical. And as I met more people and my kind of the horse blinders were coming off a little bit, it's like, what's that? And I took some like American Christianity classes, and just learning the context of like white supremacy is so embedded in the fabric of the US, but also in the church in the US, but that's not the global church. And so I was doing some master's classes, and that's where I finally like got to learn a little bit more about liberation theology, which is not at its core a white theology. I'm like, oh, this is like not oppressive. Like, oh, this is nice. And it opened the door for me of just like a whole another world of like mindset and mentality and the way to relate to the world and community. And it feels so antithetical to like what I feel like I've been raised in and kind of the context I exist in. Because Americans very individualist, all of that, and like American exceptionalism, all that. But it's nice to also be in a time where like you don't necessarily have to pursue a degree to get this information. Like there's so many good like content creators out there that are sharing about like as they learn about their culture and their history, they're sharing it. And it's just a matter of like finding those, but then once you find them, it's like you've hit a gold mine. Like I've recently started to like follow a bunch of like indigenous accounts and and now because of all the algorithms, I'm just getting hit with like all these other ones. I'm like, yes, like this is great because like that's not a culture that I'm gonna like stumble across in my day to day. Like I'm in like white bread, Massachusetts. Like a camera, like white balances off of my face. Like, but to be able to like be intentional and then like learn where to find those resources so that we can open our minds and just see other. Anyway, I could like rant about this for days.
Right. We all need to like love one another as people. Like, and when people say you don't see color, you obviously see color. When I see Catwoman, I see her skin color. I can see your skin color.
And
but
that's
it
total
doesn't make me
erasure.
have right. That has nothing to do with how I'm going to receive you as a person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The whole concept of color blindness just like, it gets under my skin because
I don't see color. What color are you?
Because it's like, really? Because you have a whites and blacks color thing in your bathroom.
Right.
Because it just like, there's so much flavor and richness to everybody's culture. And saying that you're colorblind is discounting generations of a person's history and their experience. Like my experience as a white woman is going to be super different in Gloucester, where I live, than a woman of color, just because of the culture around here. And to erase that person's experience is just, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it like I look at my tech. I like a lot of different tech.
Bring it back.
I like a lot of different people. Like, I don't like all of my people to be in one basket. I'm not going to say all of my friends have to be black. I want a different experience. I want to know how you were raised. I want to know how Miji was raised. I want her to make them banging black beans that she ain't made for me yet. I'm just saying, like, I'm a foodie. I like food. I want different food from different cultures. I like it all. Give me everything I can have so I can soak it up. Because to put myself in a box, that's me not getting to experience life.
Well, and some people, they just feel so much more comfortable with people like themselves because then they don't have to examine themselves and think that they might be wrong about something. But it's like once you start opening up your perspective a little bit, it's like, ooh, like, oh, maybe my way is the right way or isn't the only way. And like that gets really uncomfortable. Like, if you ever want to like get really uncomfortable, like family holidays and push it.
Mandy used your favorite word. Catwoman can't say, and I'm not saying you used it in a bad way. I used to use the term half-breed all the time because people think that I'm a mutt. And I am black, but I appear to be Hispanic or something else. So people constantly tell me, why don't you claim your heritage? I do, I'm black.
Yeah. I remember I was talking to you before about kind of like the religious studies that you were talking about, and I would like for you to share with everyone kind of like the difference between the cultural mindset of people getting older in the United States versus in how it is in other type of global communities.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember how we even had gotten onto that conversation the other day. But the main differences that I really see between like white American, like evangelical, what is that? Oh my gosh.
It's Grogu.
I wasn't trying to distract you. Somebody put this away in the comments and I was just like,
oh my gosh. He's so cute. What is he wearing?
He has his antlers on and his Panthers shirt. Yes.
I love it. Is that the one that walks around?
Yes. I'm dressed in place to walk around.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Okay, anyway, focusing. Serious subject.
The chat did it.
So knowing and like my experience in like white American church, it's a very individualized experience. It's all about you and your personal relationship with Jesus. That it's very like one-on-one. And then as I was reading more about like liberation theology and like I'm totally oh my gosh, the wine is hitting. But like in other cultures and I was reading, oh my gosh, who was it? Gutierrez, some other really good like thinkers, theologians, and the mindset is so much more collective. It's a lot more community based, and when when like Jesus is present per se, like Jesus is saving a community because it's not just the soul, it's like the body too. It's like uplifting the entire community out of poverty. So it gets rid of this like dualism between yes, Grogu did get renamed. Well, we found out his name.
Yeah, right. It happened this season. I'm sorry. I was responding in the chat to that.
And you can see that when like played out in intergenerational relationships, because you'll see like in America, it's kind of the thing that you just, when you're like elderly parents or grandparents get old, like you throw them in a home, like you don't take care of them. Yeah. Whereas in other contexts and cultures, like you would bring them into your own home and take care of them because it's your family, and like, and it's collective, like they're your responsibility, and that's just what you do. Whereas like in my family, it's okay. What's the bar that we're gonna send you to the home?
Really?
And I was gonna say, like in a Black home, if you send your family, your parents to the home, like that's the utmost disrespectful thing you could do.
Yeah.
Like, it's like they raised you. You can't take care of them now if they're old. That's how we kind of look at it. So it's just
it's like a circle. It's like you took care of me, now I take care of you. You know, it's cyclical.
Yeah.
So that's that. And one of the things that you also talked about was like USA exceptionalism, that we see people kind of like make it or are successful. So because we see and we say, hey, that person was successful, that we turn a blind eye to the systemic problems that actually happen. And I'm glad that you're actually talking about that, because not a lot of people even acknowledge the fact that there is a problem with exceptionalism. It's like we love to hear a good success story, but the success only usually affects one person and not as a community as a whole.
Yeah, and it's like, on whose back did they have to climb on to get there? Because with the way that, like, especially with the late stage capitalism that we're in, it's like no one just picks themselves up by their bootstraps. That's not a thing. Like you, especially like in the American U.S. exceptionalism context, it's very much like there isn't enough to share. It's like I have to be here by myself at your expense, and who can I like basically screw over so that I can get to the top, rather than like let's collectively get to a better place and better ourselves and our community.
Hey, Big John.
Let's see how much.
I agree 100% with that. Especially when you talk about the
left.
we should just wrap it up. Closing
Look, because that doesn't mean you can't come back. I mean,
exactly, yeah.
People are like, you got to bring her back so she can read. I'm like, oh, so you gonna read tarot cards? What you gonna read when you come back, Emily?
No, I don't want to get zapped. No thanks. I have many children's stories. If you would like a bedtime story, I can have many.
Yes.
I'm really good at
and shout out to Mike. He's going to start his stream at 9:10. He picked such a random time to start.
So everybody go on over to Tech King Mike's stream after this.
Mike, thanks for hanging out with us. I appreciate you. I'm glad to see you back in the swing of things.
Absolutely. Michael said the system is built that there will always be those on the bottom, and we need more on the bottom to support the top. Yeah,
that's very true.
You gotta turn the triangle upside down.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not.
It shocks me when people are like, what is America turning into? I'm like, America is becoming, like, the U.S. is becoming what it was built to be. Like, this is what's happening. It's just an evolved form of what it was built upon and all of those ideals. So, like, why are we surprised?
But
I'm a little jaded.
It's okay. Yeah, because of technology, we're able to actually, magnify it and pinpoint it. And a lot more people are having these types of conversations. So, 10 years ago, we wouldn't be able to have this type of conversation the way that we're having on a global scale. And people, I do feel that even though it is sensationalized, in the end, they have compassion. And that's where we need to move towards, because we're only as strong as the people in the bottom. And so we need to take care of everyone, not just those who are exceptional.
Yes. Preach it. Totally agree.
Well, we loved having
But,
you, Emily. Thank you.
And
Thanks for
again,
having
you
me.
come back. You don't have to come back in context of just being like, oh, I'm going to be a guest in a few months from now. You come back and just hang out.
Cool.
I enjoy having you here. You know?
Thank you so much for having me. This was really, really fun. So,
Yay.
and it was good to like see all the comments and everything too. So,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm glad you
Thank
enjoyed.
With us in the comment section, chatting with us and everything as well.
I'm gonna need you to finish the stream out correctly, Miji.
Yes. So I am Catwoman,
And I'm Gigi, the Gadget Goddess, and we are
your home girls of tech.
here on the Gadget Chats podcast. Have a great evening, and y'all stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Go check out Tech King Mike next. Ta-da!